Miami University and all Oxford community. I'm Abby.
And I'm Charlotte, your co-host for tonight's show. Welcome back to Miami Television News.
Last weekend was Halloween. All of campus was full of spooky festivities. Most Miami students celebrated the holiday as a multi-day event, flocking uptown in their costumes from Thursday to Monday. MAP hosted pumpkin painting and their annual Fallen Forgotten event earlier in the month. Peabody Hall put on Helen's Haunted House, based on the former president of the Western College for Women, Helen Peabody, whose ghost is said to haunt the halls to this day. You can check out Miami's website to take a virtual spooky tour of the most haunted place on campus.
Miami students use a variety of different social media platforms, with YikYak being a newer app circulating through campus. YikYak is a platform where users can make anonymous posts talking about anything they want. During Parents Weekend, a student at Miami used YikYak to make a shooting threat to families visiting campus. MTN's Abby Rainier was able to ask students for their thoughts on the threat and how they viewed the university's approach to the conflict.
YikYak is a social media platform that allows users to post yaks anonymously. The anonymous nature of the app means you do not see users' names and no one has a profile picture. On October 22nd, Paul Walker Jr., a junior music education major, made a threat on Parents Weekend to go on a, quote, parent shooting spree. Once the yak was sent out, the FBI notified the university and Walker Jr. was arrested, although no weapon was found. On Tuesday, October 26th, the university made its first comments through an email sent by the Dean of Students. For some students, like Anthony Lama, this was the first time they heard about the incident.
School should be more proactive about that because we're all here to study and be in college and everything, and we're all if something like that is posted, it affects all of us. I feel like it should be made more. We should be more aware of it more proactively. I guess they should be more proactive in making us aware of that because I didn't know about this, and obviously it didn't affect me, but it could affect people, and they should be knowledgeable about their safety, and that applies to everybody. So.
This raises a question of if the university should be more vocal about online threats and if posts like Walker Jr. should be taken seriously. Junior George Wise thinks so.
Especially with how America is, where there's a school shooting about every week. Sometimes it's not always that bad, but if you really dig around, you could find how many shootings there's been this year, how many people die of gun violence, and generally, I think these situations need to be taken very seriously. Even if it is just someone, being stupid on YikYak, it's something you got to take very seriously because you don't want people, one, to feel threatened, and two, to actually be involved in those situations.
As of now, Walker Jr. is currently in the Butler County Jail after being charged with a third-degree felony for making terroristic threats. Walker Jr. is currently allowed to attend classes at Miami University, but must wear an ankle monitor and is not allowed to make any posts on social media. The university also made clear that apps like YikYak are not truly anonymous, which is making students second-guess posting on the platform. Sophomore Anna Supim will be one of those students taking more caution before posting on YikYak.
I definitely feel like I would, just because I wouldn't want anything to happen to me or to be taken out of context. I don't know.
2 weeks ago, the sukkah at the Hillel Off-Campus Center in Oxford was vandalized. The Hillel is a community of Jewish students who gather to support one another, and they were extremely saddened to hear about the vandalization of their sukkah. In response to the vandalization, the Hillel hosted the Shabbat of Love and Honor on October 28th, where they had a few speakers sing their traditional songs and hosted a dinner afterwards. For more information about the Hillel, check out their Instagram, Hillel@MU.
Nationally, brands like Adidas decided to end business with the famous rapper Kanye West for his anti-Semitic rants on social media platforms. MTN member Mason Maloney has more on the Kanye West scandal in a special pop culture segment. Over to you, Mason.
Thanks, Charlotte. My name is Mason Maloney, and today I will be giving you the latest updates on the brand Adidas dropping Kanye West. Last Tuesday, rapper Kanye West, who legally changed his name to Ye, was dropped from sportswear company Adidas. This was in result of his many anti-Semitic rants on podcasts and social media platforms. West refused to stop saying anti-Semitic comments and even threatened, quote, "I can literally say anti-Semitic shit and Adidas cannot drop me." That day, West was dropped from the company, and hours later, Gap and Foot Locker announced they will not be carrying any Yeezy products in the future. Yeezy is a fashion collaboration between West and German sportswear brand Adidas. They made high-end Yeezy sneakers, athletic wear, socks, and slides. All products of his in any of these stores were removed immediately. Gap announced, Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous as they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. Foot Locker had a similar message. On social media, there was a lot of debate on whether or not the company would drop West due to the funding he brought them through his Yeezy collection. It is predicted that the dropping of West will impact up to $250 million at the company's net income. Adidas' decision also cost West his billionaire status. Forbes estimates that without the Adidas deal, his net worth has dropped to $400 million, which comes from his music catalog, real estate, and his 5% stake in ex-Kim Kardashian's shapewear company, Skims. Forbes valued his Adidas deal on adding $1.5 billion to his net worth, said CNBC News. Since the incident, West's words of hate have sparked a lot of tweets and discussion worldwide. Celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, Reese Witherspoon, Jamie Lee Curtis, and more spoke out in support of the Jewish community and do not stand with West's actions. Twitter and Instagram have taken away West's account in response to his derogatory words against the Jewish community, but they were recently given back. Adidas fully dropped West, but the company has been applauded by the Anti-Defamation League, Stop Anti-Semitism, and the International Legal Forum. In the end, Adidas' action sends a powerful message that anti-Semitism and bigotry have no place in society, the ADL's statement said. That is all for today on MTN Pop Culture. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Mason. The sorority Delta Zeta put on their annual philanthropy called POF, short for Putting on the Hits. POF is a dance competition among Greek life that raises money for St. Rita's School for the Deaf in Cincinnati and Starkey Hearing Foundation. This year, POF was held on November 2nd and was the largest philanthropy event of the year. And now, the MTN sports team is here to catch you up on all your Redhawks sports news. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Abby. I know most students were too busy partying this Halloween weekend to keep up with the many Redhawks sporting events. Don't worry, we got you all covered. On the gridiron, a shutdown defensive performance in Akron gave the Redhawks a 27-9 victory. Head coach Chuck Martin's 100th win, now most in school history, was the much needed. After a 2-game slip, the MAC East preseason favorite Hawks are fighting for some remaining conference ground. The game's first strike came from the Redhawks when quarterback Brett Gabbert threw an 11-yard touchdown pass to tight end Nate Mersch. Gabbert is struggling to find that fire he had at the end of MAC play last year, but it wasn't needed Saturday. He recorded just 13 completions on 23 attempts for 184 yards and a TD. After a Zips field goal, Hawks running back Keon Mosey scored on a jet sweep. And on their following drive, kicker Graham Nicholson booted one go into the locker room 17-3. The Hawks' second half was all defense, allowing just 6 points. The defense got to the quarterback 4 times and forced 3 turnovers, including defensive back Jaquez Warren, putting the game away in the early fourth with a 62-yard pick six. Warren's performance earned him MAC East Defensive Player of the Week. The offense did stall late, but good thing they have a solid punter. Congrats to Dom Zoban for his career-best 48.1 yards per punt, crowning him the MAC East Special Teams Player of the Week. The Hawks are now 4-5 overall, but a disappointing 2-3 in the conference. They have just 3 games left to try to get close to their preseason expectations. They host Ohio this Tuesday at Yeager, but the Bobcats are not the Zips. Ohio stands second in the division, only behind Buffalo, who is currently undefeated in conference play. It's safe to say that Tuesday is their biggest game of the year because a loss would eliminate them from MAC contention. The Tuesday date helps the team prepare for the crucial game. Coach Martin said to the media on Monday, quote, "Some of our kids play 500 snaps. They're fine, but they could use the extra time off to mentally, physically prepare." Kickoff is expected around 7 p.m. Tuesday on ESPN2. Men's basketball launches their season this Monday at Millette against Evansville. Now steering the ship for the Redhawks, former Xavier head coach Travis Steele plans to revive the MAC's most historic hoops program. However, conference voters do not see Steele's plan taking over right away, as Miami received the second fewest first-place votes in the preseason poll. But Steele believes that every good team has an identity, and he wants to set one right here in Oxford. In a press conference on Monday, Steele said that he wants his team to be the most connected in the MAC. Their chemistry will have to start with their captains, such as fifth-year guard Mekhi Larry, because they are the few men on the roster who have collegiate basketball experience. All Steele wants to see this season is his guys getting better game by game. Tip-off against the Purple Aces is live Monday at 8:30 p.m. This Halloween weekend, students showed up to Goggin hoping for a treat, but all they got was an expected trick. Owen, can you recap what happened with the hockey team?
Thank you, Stephen. After an impressive 4-1-1 start to the season, the Miami Redhawks began play in the National Collegiate Hockey Conference this past weekend, facing off against the Denver Pioneers, who are currently ranked third in the nation, as well as the defending national champions. This is a matchup between the NCHC preseason favorite Denver and a team viewed by the media to finish dead last, your Miami Redhawks. The first game of the two-game series did not go as planned for Miami, as they were blanked by a score of 4-0. Denver began scoring in the first period on a goal from Carter Mazur, which happened to be the first of his 3 for the game. Early in the second period, Denver held the advantage during a 5-on-3 attack, which resulted in another goal from Mazur, putting Denver up 2-0. Later in the third period, Denver hit the back of the net again as Mazur caught lightning in a bottle, completing a hat trick and extending the score to 3-0. As if the Redhawks hadn't seen enough, in the final minutes, Tristan Braz scored the puck unassisted to crush any hope for a Redhawk comeback. Despite having given up 4 goals, one bright spot for Miami was the 33 saves recorded by Redhawk goalie Ludwig Pearson. Now on to Game 2. The Redhawks jumped on Denver late in the first period after P.J. Fletcher scooped up the puck after 2 Pioneers ran into each other, then assisted the puck to junior Matthew Barbolini to put Miami up top 1-0. Denver answered the goal of their own by Casey Dornbach after a quick pass to the net to knot things up at 1 apiece. Just minutes later, Miami clawed their way back into the lead. Freshman forward John Waldron received the puck from Artur Taransky, where Waldron then took the puck, missed his first shot, but closed the deal on the rebound to make it 2-1 Miami. Well, Miami could have won the game if hockey was only played in 2 periods, but unfortunately, those are not the rules. A collapse for the ages began early in the third period. Carter Mazur secured his 4th goal of the weekend to tie things back up. After holding their own for much of the period and keeping it tied, Miami allowed a power play goal to again Carter Mazur, and the Denver Pioneers with only a few minutes left to play, making it a 3-2 game. Finally, after pulling Ludwig Pearson for an extra man, Denver closed the scoring via a Mike Benning goal with an empty net to eliminate any hope of the Miami Redhawks mounting a comeback. After a frightening 0-2 this Halloween weekend, Miami will shift their focus to the Western Michigan Broncos in Kalamazoo, Michigan this weekend, with puck drops at 7 p.m. Friday and 6 p.m. Saturday. After the road trip, Miami will return home for a matchup with Colorado College. Now from ice hockey to field hockey. Over the weekend, the Miami field hockey team crushed their way to a 7-0 victory over Ball State to clinch the MAC regular season championship. Claudia Negrete Garcia, Jenna Kirby, and Becca Klein all scored 2 goals apiece in the win. Later on in the weekend, Miami took the field against the defending national champion and then third-ranked Northwestern in the finale of the regular season. Although this was an opportunity for a statement win to close out the year, Miami fell 3-1. After the first quarter, both teams were locked in at 0 goals apiece. Later in the second quarter, Northwestern took the lead on a penalty quarter, which they then took into the half. Earlier in the third, the Wildcats extended their lead to 2, and soon after, Miami made their push for the win on a goal from Luli Rosa. However, it proved to be too little too late after Northwestern slammed the door in the face of the Redhawks, scoring early in the fourth. Despite splitting the weekend matchups, Miami has nothing to hang their heads about. They once again swept the MAC Conference Weekly Awards, with Claudia Negrete Garcia earning MAC Offensive Player of the Week and Louis Rosa earning the honor on the defensive end. This weekend, Oxford, Ohio, and the Miami Redhawks will host the 4-team MAC Women's Field Hockey Tournament. Miami faces off against the Ball State Cardinals on Friday, November 4th at 11:30 a.m. The winner of that matchup will face either the Kent State Golden Flashes or the Appalachian State Mountaineers in the MAC Championship the next day. Now on to Emmy with the latest on volleyball and soccer.
Thanks, Owen. This Saturday, our women's volleyball took on Ball State in Oxford this weekend. The Redhawks 6-18 dropped a 3-set match to Ball State 19-6. 15-25 in the first, 18-25 in the second, and 20-25 in the third. The opening set included close gameplay. Ball State attempted to pull away early, leading 2-0, a service error from the Cardinals, followed by a service ace from Ellie Hansen tied the set 2-2. The Cardinals got off to a hot start at the beginning of the second set, pulling ahead 11-3. Miami then stormed back, outscoring Ball State 9-2. To trail by 1 at 13-12. The score was tied 2-2 at the start of the third set. Miami then went on to take a 5-2 lead thanks to numerous skills from Hansen, Severance, and Maggie McCrary. Ball State answered, retaking the lead at 7-6. Ultimately, the Cardinals closed the set with a 25-20 win. Miami University hosts conference opponent Buffalo at Millett Hall on Friday, November 4th at 6 p.m. and Saturday, November 5th at 5 p.m. And now for your women's soccer update. The Redhawks opened the MAC tournament in Athens on Sunday afternoon. Miami University's soccer team, 9-4-6 overall and 4-2-5 in the MAC, took down Ohio University by a 1-0 scoreline. The lone goal was scored by junior Taylor Hamlet and helped the Redhawks progress to the semifinals of the MAC tournament. The Redhawks traveled to face the University at Buffalo in the MAC tournament semifinals on Thursday, November 3rd at 5 p.m. Now I'm sending it over to Ethan, who's here with Sydney Watkins, a women's basketball player here at Miami University. Take it away, Ethan.
Thanks, Emmy. I'm here with Sid Watkins, a sophomore basketball player for Miami. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, how has practicing for the season been going?
It's been going pretty well. Our main focus is to remain focused, so to take it to the next level, it's all about the details, how we're practicing, and if we're competing.
Yeah. So what are your expectations for yourself as a player going into your second season, second season being a player?
Right. So if you ask me, this is kind of like my first season just due to injury. So the only expectation I truly have for myself is outwork anybody on the court, because skills come, the skills that you develop as a player, they'll eventually come throughout the season, but hard work, effort, that's something that you can't coach. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting those markers.
Okay. So what are some other sports that you played growing up, other than basketball, of course?
Yeah, I've literally played all types of sports. I was a cheerleader at a point in time. I played volleyball, I ran track, and I played basketball as well in high school.
Did a lot of everything.
Yeah.
So when and where is your first game going to be for this Miami women's basketball team?
Yeah, our first game is this upcoming Monday at 6 against Xavier, and it's a home game, so come out.
All right, up at Millett Hall.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in, Sydney. Be on the lookout for more sports in the next show. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Ethan. A few weeks ago, Miami Student Market employees came out with allegations of abuse and mistreatment by parent company Aramark, which was contracted by the Miami University to ease the load on the dining staff. Aramark has paid over $15 million in wage and labor offenses. This is a developing story, and we will be back when we get more information.
Did you know Miami University has its own farm? Students work alongside staff to plant seeds, harvest crops, and sell or donate local fresh produce. MTN members Mackenzie Knorr and Ryan Fleming are here with more information on what exactly the Institute for Food Farm is and how to get involved.
Right now we're here at our CSA, which is an acronym that stands for Community Supported or Community Sponsored Agriculture. And it's basically a membership subscription for people to purchase local produce from a farmer, in this case, the Miami Institute for Food Farm. The CSA market is our revenue generating aspect and community engagement program of the farm. At the farm, we grow this produce with the help of students and volunteers and farm staff. The farm is a program of Miami University. It's in the Institute for Food, which offers a co-major, and that whole program falls under the Institute of Environment and Sustainability. So we are demonstrating kind of sustainability practices around food and ecology and the way that people and agriculture relate to the land in sustainable ways. So primarily all the food grown at the farm is being used in the CSA, but we also try to donate any excess production or harvest that we have to local community organizations like the food pantry at Tops, and there's another program called G Foods, which is run by schoolers out of Ross, and many of them have gone on to graduate, and actually some of them go to Miami, as well as some other local pantries like Open Hands in McGonigal and Army of Kindness, which is a pantry that mostly focuses on Miami students in need. All of the electricity produced on the farm is produced by solar power, and really the only way we're able to use the electricity is for a pump on our well that runs our irrigation system. Have you ever been on a farm? You should try it sometime. You might enjoy it.
That's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning into our show, and be on the lookout for more Miami news to come. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Abby. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Miami MTN.